Assad dudes, welcome back to PLB Green. Here we have another hibiscus. Not sure what color its flower is or anything like that, but I'd say it's about 20 years old. I can tell that by the thickness of the trunk and the bark, texture in the bark. It's in this random white pot without any legs, and yeah, the soil is that kind of clay backyard soil. I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of rotting roots in here. Today, I'll repot and trim. So get rid of all this stuff. Oh yeah. And then, this is so shallow. Let's see if we can just lift it out. Oh, okay. Cool man. Good start. Whoa, look at all those roots on the base. Nice. You can see how wet this soil is though, and like dense. The sacred fork has been found. Okay, so starting anywhere on the circle, I'm going to work clockwise, holding the base of the tree and dragging the roots out perpendicular from the trunk. The root rake is going to, ooh, there's little white roots, which is, wait, or is that a bug? Oh, dude, that's a bug. That's some kind of millipede guy. I thought that was a white root. Look at that dude. Pretty sure they're poisonous. So I think that's enough on the top. Flip it over. Whoa, yeah. Working from the middle, spinning the tree and moving out towards the edge. All right, there she is in all her glory. I've washed off the roots. So I'll start off with my trusty red miracle worker scissors. And I'm just going to cut off any dead branches or dead foliage that I can see that serves no purpose whatsoever anymore. So for these ones, I'll use slightly stronger branch cutter and just come in like that. Clean it up a little bit. It's pretty good. This is a tricky one. I guess I'll come in like this. This is my branch. Pruners. There you go. I don't know if I'm going to remove this branch here yet. Maybe. I'm going to clear out all this foliage here because I don't want anything down this low on this tree, and it's just cluttering up the trunk. So I'll take off these and with the dead wood as well. Just like that. And I don't want to disturb the bark too much. It's kind of so cool and old that I don't want any of this flaky stuff to peel off. See how this little branch in here is pointing inside the tree or going in towards the inside of the tree? You don't really want that because it makes it look less tree-like and looks more like a shrub. So I tend to take those off. Sometimes they can look okay, but I tend to take them off. So I have decided I am going to take off this smaller crossing branch just because it crosses over with that main one. So it's going to be tricky to get into. There you go. Just clean it up a little. Yeah, that looks much better already. This, I do like this kind of like arcing branch that swings over to the left. So I'm thinking of keeping that. Some of these branches that stick straight up, I think they can go, like this one definitely. And this one in here sticking straight up. some more deadwood. This one's sticking up, but if I take it off, I think this sweeping branch will just be too bare. But I'm going to take more deadwood. I'm going to trim this branch back to here. And then this one to here. This one to here. And I'm looking for an outward facing leaf when I trim off these. This branch to here. Actually might take this off a little lower. And this side branch over here, I think will go off pretty short. We'll go off to there. All right. Up the front, I'm not going to do too much work. I'm just going to take out all these branches, well, these branches facing inward off. This is one branch going into 1, 2, 3. So I'll take off the branch sticking straight up. Just clean up some of these. And then I'm just going to trim some of these back. So go there. I'll go there. 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 And there. And that, my friends, is the top trimming done. All right. So I just washed the roots again, keeping them nice and moist. I've done the trimming on the top. Oh, not bad. Quite like it. It'll grow back with a vengeance. So I think there's a lot of roots pointing straight down on this hibiscus, and I really want to flatten the root base before I start putting soil in, but I also don't want it right down close to the pot. I kind of like the fact that it kind of like sits up on stilts, but you do want to cover those roots, otherwise they'll just, if they're just exposed to air, too many of them are just exposed to air, they'll just die. So, trusty handy dandy red scissors, cutting any roots that go back in towards the tree or point straight down or that are dead. And you'll notice that I'm cutting horizontally. And I do that just because if you're cutting the roots flat, you're creating a flat surface for the new roots to grow out of, and they tend to grow out of the cut point, the edge of the cut point. So if you're cutting flat, the roots will generally grow out flat, out from the cut point. Now this tree has a lot of crossing roots, which I don't actually mind because it kind of gives it this like crazy, like a, you know, super old abandoned tree in the woods kind of feel to it. And that's what I kind of like about it. So here on the bottom, a lot of roots coming straight down. So let's get in there, these pruners, and just take off some of them, not all of them, just some of them. And that way, we'll have more of a radial root base. This root bends around and grows in the tree, so take it there. Yeah, this way we have more of a chance of new roots growing out in a radial pattern. And a radial pattern just means outwards perpendicular from the trunk. That one's just too low. So that's pretty good. That root base is pretty flat now. See? Make sure if you're using fly screen, you get the plastic one or the fiberglass one and not the aluminium one, because that'll rust. Now, a thin layer on the bottom, stopping those drainage screens from sliding around. Now this is a super shallow pot, so the layer on the bottom is going to be pretty thin, a little bit more. I'm going to put this tree off to the right ever so slightly because most of its foliage comes out and goes over this way. So if I had it in the center of the pot, this would be coming over the edge of the pot. It would look strange, and also you don't want to center the trunk in the middle of a pot. Doesn't matter what shape pot it is, you just don't want to do that. So I'll put it over here. I'll put a little mound here. Snuggle the tree on top like this. Make sure the roots are all radial in position. All looking good. Now we'll come around to the front and see if that's a good height and a good position. Maybe a little bit more that way. I like this tree. It's old. Nice old hibiscus. Mound her up. Okay. Nice stick and fill in all of the, as many of the air spaces as we can. Moving around. Making sure all of the roots are nice and safe in the soil. Lifting the tree up just a little bit so the roots go sweep down into the soil rather than, you know, lay flat and go completely parallel to the bottom of the pot. Don't want that. Tree's getting a bit more steady in the pot. Oh yeah, looks cool. This is the front, so we will mark that with this stick, like that. And got a few cool textured rocks. I'm going to put these in so the tree stays steady in any strong winds and doesn't flop out of the pot or fly out of the pot. Got another cool one for back here. And if you bury your rocks slightly, it looks like they've been there for a longer period of time. So there she is. Another hibiscus. Front. Left hand side. Back. Right hand side. And back to the front. All that's needed now is a nice deep water back on the shells, and we're another hibiscus down.